you will see this is actually I'm I'm not helping out, but I'm with my friend who has his show at this time. Dr. Cornelius Hill has his Capri Care show, or you may see the Dr. Cornelius Hill show at this time. But he and I are partnering today, and I'm so excited because he's given me this platform to share with his audience to discuss this amazing program that the World Class Training Institute has coming up called School Days. So I'm not even going to delay you at all. I'm just going to bring in my friend and for years and years and years, Dr. Hill. How are you, Dr. Hill?
I am wonderful. Good
God,
morning
it's
to
so
you. Good
good
morning
to
to the School Days audience. Good morning to World Class Training. Good morning to Leaders Lounge. Good morning to Dance It Out Shy. Good
see
morning to What Would Barack Do? Good morning to Agape Leadership. Good morning to all the things that you represent and the
well,
things
thank
that
you
you are
so
doing in the marketplace. It's always good to be with you and to do the things that we do. I'm picking up my phone to make sure everything is being shared on
good.
my media sites. I want everybody to make sure that at the bottom of this screen is life change and brings a greater impact to your life. So I can't wait to school days. I remember
Can't wait either.
uh
And you know, it's we're calling this an open house. And before we get started, I do want to share this. I had an aunt who passed about a week and a half ago, and she was a teacher. So as I was getting ready this morning, I said, how fitting is it for us to have this show? And we kind of, I say nothing in life is happens just by chance. It was serendipitous, but it was also divine that we're doing this on the day that her graveyard service is. So I just also want to dedicate this to my aunt, Mildred Jacqueline Hannon, who was a teacher and took me to her school when she taught summer school in Chicago and Carter School all those years. So I just want to bless the family on this day and bless particularly her daughter. She had one child who will be doing the first of two services in her honor today. So without further ado, I just wanted to say that. But yes, so
whoa,
we
whoa,
are
whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
here
That I
today.
love what you said. Let's back up. Okay.
Yes.
We are honoring your aunt and those individuals that have, we say, graduated to glory. That's the new
Graduated
thing.
to glory. Amen. Yes, yes, yes. We
And that's
are.
not to dig into that, but emotionally, that's a real space to be in. And that's something that we need to make sure that we understand, that we don't rush people out and off of our
Good.
life too soon.
That's
Like
good.
honoring their legacy, honoring who they are, honoring what they did for us.
Yes.
I come from a very, very tight knit, extended, blended, interwoven family. I come from the compound like the Kennedys, and I'm grateful for everybody that poured in my life and
Yes.
still pour in my life. So,
It's
uh,
still poor. Yes.
so we're grateful for the people. So for those coming in, I'm watching it on my stream. I need everybody to like and share. I need everybody to like and share on Don's stream as well and tag 3 people. But on this terrific Tuesday, I'm gonna
Yes.
call it
Yes.
a terrific Tuesday.
Yes.
Tell me what has brought you to a whole new paradigm shift in your thinking and in your doing.
You know, this thing called life. Life brings me to new paradigm shifts on a regular basis. That's why, you know, we were just doing a book club meeting with my church a couple of days ago, and we were talking about how you have to honor this space of potentiality from the book, The Seven Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. And so, as you stay open to the space of pure potentiality, you are going to have paradigm shifts. Why? Because our perspective is going to change based on what we have stayed open to and allowed into our lives. So, paradigm shifts for me happen on a frequent basis, and I stay open to that because to me, that is also within the space that we are able to grow and develop.
You said a whole mouthful. You know I'm gonna
You
back.
know,
You know I'm gonna dig
it's only
in.
seven, what, oh,
I'm
five?
gonna have to. You said something. Wow. You said a whole lot. So the first thing I remember you doing was to speak easy.
Yes,
And now that speakeasy has morphed into some other things because of
right.
you being intentional and consistent.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm glad that you even mentioned that. So yes, last year I did the Speakeasy Summit because I recognized that while this may be easy for you and me, Dr. Hill, this is a space of terror for some people to be able to talk live and to be able to articulate in a manner that is clear and concise and not be nervous about it. That is not an easy thing for many people to do. And so, yes, last year we started with the Speak Easy Summit, which was a 2 day series on how to help people craft and develop their messages and then avoid some of the ums and ahs and not being able to look at the audience and other challenges that people have when they speak live. And then from that, again, going back to that pure potentiality space, I said, how can we take what we did last year and then help more people? And that is where School Days came. So that idea came out of saying, you know what, that was one area of challenge that I recognize a lot of individuals have. What are some other areas that I'm able to help in? And so, yes, here we are with School Days, which is now 3 classes that will be able to offer
Three,
beautiful space.
one. We say in the scriptures, one can chase thousand, two, 10,000. I guess three, 100,000. So one has become three.
One has become 3, exactly. Yes,
Oh,
the triple has happened. Uh,
the
not, not
trifecta.
biblical, but the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
The trifecta. Let me say this. Allow me this opportunity. Speaking easy has I've been speaking before people since I was 4 years old.
Okay. Yes.
I, I might not. I'm not where I want to be, but I've been doing this in Sunday school since I was 4.
Okay.
And I was sharing that with the audience on Sunday and new members. They was like, Pastor, you just make it look easy. I said, I've been doing this, y'all, since 1981.
Right. See, exactly.
Literally. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. I cannot recall a season of my life where I was not up before an audience on Sunday morning to speak. Not
Yeah.
one season put in leadership around 11 and 12 years old up until the present.
Right.
So I've had a lot of practice.
A lot of
And
practice.
I will say this, practice makes permanent if it doesn't make perfect.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
and I got that from Mike Murdoch. So
I like that.
that's not a Cornelius Arnaism. I call
Right.
it Arnaisms. No, I practiced at this a lot. And
Yeah.
then now people for the last 5 years, I come on here 10 months, 4 or 5 times out of a week and do this in Capri Cares.
Right.
But there's a script, there's a thought process, there's activity that has budded and blossomed into something else that I didn't see it come being that when I first started.
Yes.
Then
Exactly.
on top of that, and I land my plane, I with this, with Capri Cares, with all the radio shows, with the other podcasts, let's say in the last 5 years, I've done over 2,000 podcasts.
Yes. Exactly. Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. I mean,
With
I think
radio
about.
shows, this is my 2025th. I'm just gonna throw
Okay.
that out. Show to
Mm-hmm.
do
Yeah.
something of this nature. So when
Right.
they say I make it look easy, I've practiced a whole lot, and I'm practicing now.
Yes.
That's not
Exactly.
come Sunday mornings and
Right.
Bible studies. So
Yes.
just
That's
saying
right.
that. But
Yeah.
why did I say that? Because guess what? I still need a school days. I
Yes.
still want to perfect my craft. I still want to maximize my time with the freak. What is it? The flow? I can't
Focus
remember.
and flow. Yeah. Exactly.
Focus
Uh
and
huh.
flow. Like I still want those things to happen. in my life. So tell me about the 3 classes you're offering. And as you're telling me, those who are listening, please go to the website and register. And if you don't register at the website today, go to the website. Where are the books? Where are the books? Where are the books?
One is right here, Unpacking Agape. But I want to, before I get there, I do want to tap into what you just said about
Okay.
practice doesn't make perfect, but it does make permanent. Well, it does make permanent, but if you do not hone your skills, it's going to be permanent imperfection. And so that is why it is important that even as people who have continued to speak on a regular basis and continue to talk to audiences. I've been speaking in the public space. I've taught in corporate America leadership and professional development for over 15 years. And guess what, Dr. Hill? I still register for classes so I can take good and make it better and take better and make it best. We have got to believe in the idea of building ourselves to better, which is why we are also promoting these shirts on the website as well as part of School Days, which is I'm better. School is in session for the children. Why should it not be for us as adults? We have got to, just like you told me last week when we were breaking bread, you said, you know what? You see a Louis Vuitton bag, and I have a couple of them, right? $1,250, 1,000. Let me make it clear. $1,250, right? Gladly, just walk in there, happy to walk out with the orange bag. Okay. $1,250. Now, the first one that I bought was several years ago, and I will say that bag still is in excellent condition. So, I'm going to say this, but I do want to say that quality matters in that as well. But it also matters in what we put into our heads, because even though that Louis, the first one I bought, I've had for 20 years and it's still in good shape, that will run out before whatever I put in my head runs out. So when we're thinking about the cost that we're spending to come to events that are going to make us better, we have to have a long-term approach to what we're going to do with that information. It's more than a moment. It's a transformation, which is why I started the World Class Training Institute almost 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in November. It's because I want training to go beyond the event to transformation. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing with School Days. So when you're thinking about it, it is an investment in you. And I had no problem, like I told you, when I was certified in emotional intelligence, which is one of the classes that we're going to be training. I paid $1,595 for that class. And it was the best $1,595 I ever spent because of the growth zone that I entered when I went through that training. So with that said, I can share. And I want to, if you will indulge me for a moment, I just want to talk to you a little bit about each of the classes, and then so that everybody walks away really knowing what they can expect and how they can expect to be better as a result of attending each of the sessions. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. It's your show. I'm here as a guest.
No,
No, I'm here as a guest. It's our show, but I'm just here as a guest. I love the fact that even what you went to last month,
yes.
we're not giving anybody any credit right now until some other things happen on the back end. But even that was a investment worth investing in.
Absolutely. And we can talk a little bit about it. You know, I went to, we've been podcasting, and thanks to you, you always just say, you need to podcast, you need to podcast. Well, I started podcasting, but I was just okay, you know, and I'm still not best, but I'm better. So I went to a podcast summer. I took my 4th of July, and instead of sitting at a cookout, I went to a training in Atlanta, and I'm so glad I did. Best thing ever, you know, and I don't know how much I spent for that between the registration and the hotel. Was expensive. But it wasn't expensive. It was a great investment because it taught me some things. And when you walk away from these trainings, even if you take 1 or 2 things that are going to shift your life, you've already won. You've already won. So we want to create winners here, right, Dr. Hill?
Winners and winning. So yeah.
Yes. So the Speakeasy Summit, as we've already talked about, is the first class, and that one is going to be, I don't know if I can show it there. It's going to be on September the 25th. September the 25th. I actually think I may be able to show it here as well. And so in that particular class, we are going to
It removes the cobwebs from your mind when you write.
yes.
Secondly, when you write stuff down, you've already said it once, if
Yes.
not twice. You've
Right.
said it in your mind. And then by practice, you said it from your mouth. It becomes a verb, mental and verbal. So
Yes.
the outline keeps us in sync. The outline keeps us in bounds. The outline gives us boundaries. The outline helps me with transitions. The outline helps me with my hooks. The outline helps with my connections. I can go
Yes.
on and on about my outline because guess what? I hardly get up without an outline. Even
Mhm.
at church, I have my phone. I have my just random paper. I have an iPad, and you've
Yep.
seen me preach and teach. I have the Bible. Like I have a plethora of things to pull from, and
Yes.
it might seem chaotic to the natural and naked eye, but to me, it makes all the sense. So, I love the art of public speaking, and it's a discipline. And I know this: the when you become a better communicator, your value increases.
Oh, yes. That's it. Oh my goodness, you said so much. Oh my goodness, she just said so much shit.
You
So,
become a better communicator, your value increases.
yes, I read an article that by you learning how to speak, and I don't want to misquote the number, but you can increase your market value. I'm going to say at least a third more than what you would have had. Why? Because number one, you can go into an interview and be able to look someone in the eye and be able to have a clear, concise thought to the questions that they are asking. Some people aren't able to do that. Some people are not going to necessarily become public speakers, but you have to understand that even one on one, when you and I are just sitting chatting, if I'm talking and you don't know where I'm heading because I don't know how to put together a cogent thought, then we're not going to have a fruitful conversation. And so I'm going to take this down for a moment and then put it back up. So what you said about outline not only becomes relevant when you're talking in front of a big audience in instances like church, but in front of the common man or your common friend. So we are going to start with how do you even put together a cogent thought in a big space or in a small space. And as you said at the beginning, the more you practice it, the more that it becomes habitual for you. And then you don't even have to necessarily think through all of the steps because it becomes a part of your life. So that is one of the first places we're going to start with the Speakeasy Summit. And then I'm sure after you do an outline, you practice, right?
15 times minimum.
15 times minimum. Minimum. I practice as well, and I've been training for years, but I still, before I go in front of an audience to train a class, I still will practice it. Why? Because what I say in my head comes out different when I say it out loud. And so when I learned how to be a public speaker, they told us always practice out loud. So we're gonna walk through that and some of the other steps that people can use in order to become masterful when you step in front of an audience.
So one of the things that I'm more intentional about is my introduction and my conclusion.
Yes.
How am I going to end this in my mind in
Mm-hmm.
the event something else takes place?
Yes.
So I'll try to write those out now,
Yeah.
even
Why?
after,
Why is that important?
because you need to know how you're going to begin and end.
You have to.
You need to
And
know
that
that. You need to know how you're going to end. You
you're
need to know
neat.
how you're going to begin. Now, I'm not giving a gray area or an ambiguity in the middle,
Yes.
but I need to know where I'm going to hush.
Oh.
And when I get to that place, I know within me, I feel confident that I've done my best when I hush, when I have my hush already written out. I'm not
Mm.
searching, I'm not searching for my exit. I
Right.
know where I'm going to exit.
Right. And
And
that's good.
I learned from the master communicator himself, which is my Lord and Savior. And I'll leave it at that. Y'all know I'm a believer. I learned from him. He knew when to hush. And listen, he was the word. He never
Ooh.
had to hush. I
Mhm.
really believe hushing for him was really problematic in his humanity. I
Mhm.
am the word. Everything speaks to me, and I speak to everything. I speak
Mhm.
the language of the universe.
Yes,
I
yes,
don't
yes.
speak the language of just Warrenville Heights. I don't speak the language of
Right.
Southside Chicago. I
No.
don't speak the language of Winchester and Nashville and Charlotte.
Right.
I speak the language of the universe.
That's right. That's
So
right.
he knew when to hush. So guess what? I need to know when to hush.
Yes.
And
Yes.
then learning the 5 levels of listening, and I'll land there. I've learned that a set of eyes on you doesn't
Mhm.
necessarily mean there's a set of ears that's listening to you.
Mhm. Mhm. Exactly. That's
So
right. That's
it's a
right.
lot that goes
That's
into
it.
public speaking and
Yes.
leadership. A
Yes.
leader needs to be very a person that can communicate well and he didn't have to be the most polished, but at least his message is clear.
Yes.
So I'm learning that.
Yes, yes, and you again said a mouthful. I'm just gonna tap on a couple of them, and I know we don't want to keep people all day, but that whole knowing when to end, that's also from the Stephen Covey principle. Begin with the end in mind. Know
Mhm.
before you ever start, where do I want this thing to go? Because that is going to order your steps, right? And then you have to know, like you said, when you've arrived at that place becomes enough. So often we continue to talk and talk and talk, and what happens? The receiver shuts down mentally because it's like, well, okay, I got it, I got it. It's almost like when somebody says, you say, please forgive me, and then they may say, well, I forgive you, but blah 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 blah. Well, I'm not hearing all of that because we already closed on this. So you're absolutely right. You got to know as much how to start as how to end, and you have to begin with the end in mind. So yes, yep,
Yeah. So I love it. I'm excited about school days.
yes, yes,
So
yes,
when you gave us the title, the first thing I thought was Spike Lee and School Days, the
absolutely.
movie Gamma Phi Gamma. I
And
mean, that
that's
was like that
and that's
just is
exactly
like
what I thought
we
about.
would we would watch School Days every day and
Yeah.
practice and was like, you know what, we going to college to be a part of that.
Yes,
You know,
right.
so I'm always mindful of what the intelligence of what Spike Lee has done over the years.
Oh, that's
And
good.
I'm glad that you grabbed that hook and put something together for us as lifelong learners.
Yes,
You're
yes,
going to lead, and especially lead in this era, you have to be well learned.
you have
Yeah,
to.
I'm
That's right.
I'm not knocking the leaders of the past, but one of the challenges, and I believe they were lifelong learners, but
Mhm.
because the world is so diverse and so fast paced, and we can pick up information in our fingertips now, the leader has to have his or her hands
Right.
on just a wealth of knowledge.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
And no, don't do as I do as I say.
right.
Stuff like
Exactly.
that, or do as I say, not as I do. Like,
Right.
we was back and forth with with some of our cultural colloquialisms and vis-a-vis. You can't do that anymore. You can't lead like that anymore. Like,
No, you can't.
you have to lead with an understanding, and you have to lead with a listening ear that
Yes.
is emotionally intelligent. I'll
That's
use your terms.
exactly.
Emotionally intelligent. Yeah.
Yes, you absolutely do. Yeah, that's true. And I'm going to jump in and talk about too the second one because you're really great at this, uh, and it's managing that thing called time, right? And so,
And so I'm listen, I just get up working. It's in my DNA. You can ask my uncle. It's just I'm born bred to get up and go to work. Like I go to bed earlier now. I used to be a night owl and got up early because that's just who I am. That's how God made me. But now I've listened to some old folks in my life. The quote is early to bed, early to rise. Makes a
Makes
man
a man.
strong, makes a
See?
man wise.
Okay. Now,
Um,
see, in the Midwest, it was makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. That is
okay.
it.
Yeah, yeah. Y'all had more wealth than we had in the country. Just trust me. We had to go,
Well,
yeah. We had more opportunities to get that. Uh, I just try to do one thing now.
right.
And from that one thing is there's a multiplicity of several things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
not so much that I am managing my time. I just zero down on one thing.
Right.
This
Yeah.
is still talking and teaching to me.
Right.
That's
Right.
what I have done since I was 23 years old.
Yes.
Was taught, talked, taught, talk, talk, taught, taught, talk. So now it is just morphed into many things. And people
Okay.
ask me, how do you keep it all together? Remember, y'all just see this now. People didn't see what it was 12 years ago when I still had to teach
Right.
3 classes and then do a Bible study on Wednesday and a sermon on Sunday.
Right. Right. Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's 5 different preps.
Yep. Exactly.
So for me to do 5 podcasts now
Right.
is in me.
Right. And
I
as
can
you also shared with me, you were a teacher before you ever did this. And so you had to organize your day in a way that spoke to what you needed to get done in the classroom. So it's all about building blocks. And so in Focus and Flow, which is our second class that's coming up on October the 2nd, and these are 3 Wednesdays in a row, y'all. So Focus and Flow is going to help with those who are challenged in managing their day. Now, when I say challenged, it doesn't mean you're not getting through the day. It means that those things, as you just outlined, that are most important may get overlooked because we're allowing distractions to come in our way, and distractions can come in the way of a number of different, as they say, little foxes, right? It's not always the big fox like my tire got flat that comes in the way. It's really starting with how am I planning the next day? How am I planning the next week? How am I allowing enough space in my day so that I'm not feeling stressed out and burned out because I've overpromised and underdelivered? And so there are strategies to that. And Focus and Flow, the Time Mastery Toolkit, is on October the 2nd. And that one is going to help with all of the tips and tools that you need in order to make the best use out of that. I say your 86,400 seconds each day. And if I was giving you $86,400, I'm sure, I believe you would plan how you're going to spend that. Each day, God gifts us with 86,400 seconds, and we need to honor that gift with how we spend it.
Quite point of order, sister moderator.
Yes.
That's you said the key word, spend.
Yes.
How are you spending? Not
Yes.
so much. How are you spending time with your mind to develop and discover that purpose that you were called and that passion that you have?
Yes.
You know that time is of the essence. You have to spend time at something. What they say, 10,000 hours at something makes you a master.
Right. Yep.
Bruce Lee, I quote Bruce Lee, I think it's Bruce Lee. He says, I don't fear the man who has 50,000 kicks.
Hmm.
I fear the man who's practiced one kick 50,000 times.
Oh, Jesus. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know why?
That
I know
time,
you. Exactly. Because
the
you've mastered.
accuracy,
That's
the
right.
the it's the clarity, what you can do. That's now the muscle memory in 50,000 times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Yes.
Like I'm amazed. Sometimes I watch Steph Curry. It's just like he just throw the ball up there. Just
Yeah. 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 That's good. Yes. Yes.
he just
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, that's not going. It has no way of going in. But he it's in the release.
It's a release.
It's in the routine. So
Yes.
like you and I are in the routine. We're in the release of what we do. And
Yes.
I'm grateful that for those individuals, young or old, who really want to sharpen their skills and become a lethal weapon. I say it that way.
Oh, I love it.
If you
Mm-hmm.
really want to become a lethal weapon, this
Mm-hmm.
is where you need to spend your time and your money. Remember, you was talking about that Louis bag earlier, and I'm grateful for Louis and all of that. I said, but what value is it to have a Louis in your hand but nothing in your head?
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Exactly. That's
Like
it.
I need more in your mind.
Right.
I
That's
need
right.
more in your head than on your hand. And
Absolutely.
if you're
Right.
going to lead, you got to lead with not just a package, but
Right.
your person has to be something that's sharp
Yes.
and
Exactly.
stylish
Right.
and
Right.
suave.
That's right. Right.
So I'm grateful for school days. I'm grateful
Yes.
for the flow, the
Yes.
function, the fruit that comes from that, from speaking easy.
Yes.
I'm grateful that this new thing that you're teaching us, emotional intelligence.
Yes, yes. And that's how we're going to close it out, Pastor. Which that's my favorite thing these days. Why? Because it is the fruit from which all of our behaviors come. The more we're able to know how aware we are, how we're able to be aware. I was talking to someone at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and I could see the lady, I could see in her face, that there were some challenges with what was being discussed. And so by being more socially aware, I was able to properly address what I saw in that moment. So often we don't ask the next question because we're not socially aware. We're not self aware. We're not socially aware. We don't know how to regulate in a way that actually moves the dial forward in a positive realm in some instances. And so, EI over everything, emotional intelligence is the success key, is so vital because you need to know where your strengths and weaknesses are as it relates to the dimensions of emotional intelligence, especially if you are pursuing leadership or if you are in leadership and perhaps you're having people struggles, then you more than likely need to get some emotional intelligence training and find out what your EQ score is. And then we build a plan to help you to increase your lowest EQ dimension.
Emotional intelligence or
Yes.
emotional quotient. Emotional quotient.
Yes. So your emotional quotient is the score.
Hmm.
Emotional intelligence is the umbrella. So when somebody says, do you have emotional intelligence? You may say yes or no. Well, if we say, well, what's your emotional quotient? That proves up whether or not you do or do not have emotional intelligence.
I got you.
So the quotient is the number. Yes. And in this class, you will get a 14-page assessment that gives you your emotional quotient score overall and your score for each of those dimensions. And you will find out how your number relates to what they call the norm. And you will find out where you're low or high or average for all of your EQ dimensions.
Well,
So great.
listen.
Yes.
In the event somebody again wants, and not somebody, all of us that are watching, I need you to do me a favor. Like the video, number one, share
Yes.
it from both
Please.
platforms.
Yes.
How do we connect with you for other services beyond just school days?
Sure. So worldclasstraining.net is the company website. Please go there. It's worldclasstraining.net. And then you can go to the bottom and schedule time to meet with me. I'm absolutely available to talk about other things. We do training for corporations on leadership, professional development. Schools, we do educational consulting. We also do executive coaching for individuals, particularly who are in that pursuit of the C-suite or in the C-suite. Then we do executive coaching for you as well. And then my fun thing is I still do fitness training. So yeah, those are all a part of this thing called the World Class Training Institute. So please connect with me. And to get ready, these are our latest shirts. There's going to be another one that's going to come out that instead of, because people say I'm busy, but to me, busy is not a good word. I'm productive, right? And so we're replacing busy with productive. I'm productive.
Mhm.
So, and productive sometimes means I'm resting, because what did we say? Shamika Dean said a couple of days ago.
Rest is the new revenue.
Yes, it is. Amen. Amen. I think she actually trademarked that, which was a very smart thing. Yes, rest is the new revenue. Yeah. So being productive, and again, in the book that we were reading, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra, he talks about being still. And he says that, so if you look at some water, right, and then or a sea of water, and it's still, and then when you throw one rock into it, how it ripples, but it's in that stillness that when the rock comes or that thought comes, that the ripple and the beauty can happen. So that's why it's important sometimes to just stay still.
Just stay still. Okay.
Just stay still.
And stillness does not mean not growing.
Not at all. I got 2 plants right over there. They look still, but guess how tall they're getting?
They're growing.
They're growing. Exactly.
They're growing. Yeah, stillness does not mean unproductive.
No, it does not. We've got to dispel that myth.
Listen, one of the audience members on my channel, I don't know if you can see, well, you can't see my comments. They said, come on, then make it plain and simple. Make it plain.
Make it plain. Make it
We
plain.
want
That's
to thank everybody for you. That's right, Brother Window. We want to thank everybody for the engagement this morning.
Yes. Thank you, Pastor Hill, for allowing
Mm-hmm.
me to do this today. I appreciate you always.
And I tell anybody who, if it don't have to be necessarily my show, this was your show or our show. It don't have to be, and I share with the audience. I want others to come on, especially on Capri Cares.
Yes.
Sister Anna Catlin said, great conversation.
Oh,
and I am grateful for you as always. And she's in the marketplace. She has a gift of administration, and she is just Anna can buy the bags, and Anna can drive the cars, because Anna sits at the table Anna sits at the Monopoly table. That's what I call it. She sits at the table.
Real estate? Is it okay?
And Anna can tell you can't be popping your gum, and you can't be twirling your hair. Like your emotional intelligence, your emotional quotient has to be something else when you sit at tables where millions of dollars are being discussed and divided and divvied out.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. It's not that you don't have it.
Right.
You just haven't been sculptured for it.
That's right. Exactly.
You might have it innately, but then personally, we just need to work on a whole lot of things. And one of these days, I want to make sure that we study the emotions of the master. To see that Jesus walked through this emotional intelligence and his emotional quotient. That's what made him who he was as well, that he didn't ignore his emotions.
That's right.
A lot of times we ignore our emotions.
That's right.
Only to conjure up the wrong emotion and to feed the wrong emotion. Therefore, when it's time for us to present our better selves, we present the self that's not the best or the better.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah, that's so true.
So school days, y'all. Put the flyer back up so they can see the flyer.
Stage. Yes, absolutely.
Good morning. Sister from North Carolina is on the line. Good morning. Speakeasy Summit Masterclass, September 25th. Focus and Flow Time Mastery Toolkit, October 2nd. And Emotional Intelligence, EI Over Everything, is October the 9th. And these are all on, wait a minute. In 5 days, it starts next week.
No, September 25th. This is October,
Oh,
sweetie.
okay. I'm tripping. I'm like, whoa. Okay,
September
September
25th.
25th.
But to your point, registration is going to be open until September the 11th, but you don't want to delay. And I'm going to go back in here and put comments because I'm going to give a bonus for anybody who listens to this show. I'm going to do a little a treat, savings treat. So come back. I'm going to put it in the comments. I just want to make sure I upload the code for you as well. And also you can get merch. This shirt, I got 2 other shirts, and I also have a journal so that when you come to the class, you can have your own school days journal and do all your notes right there. And that's at worldclasstraining.net
Mhm.
/shop.
Wow. Listen, y'all, I'm out of time. I'm never out of
Yes.
talk, but I'm grateful for School Days. I'm grateful for Yolanda. I'm grateful for worldclasstraining.net. But listen, I wouldn't be who I was if I didn't know where could I get some new literature to read and who can I buy it from. I love your shirts.
I actually have. So you are so. You know what? He's the best.
Pause. He said, provide the registration link again. Is that the registration link?
It's right down here at the bottom. It's worldclasstraining.net /school days.
And then will this be available virtually because she lives over there with your children, your lovely children in North Carolina. So will this have a virtual presence?
You know, currently it is an in-person class. If I have enough interest, we could run it through Zoom because the location where we're doing it is a state of the art. I don't think I said that yet. It's the University of Tennessee Training Suites at 193 Polk Avenue. Their training facility is absolutely gorgeous. And they probably have the capability for us to be able to do that. We just I think I can show the training suite. So that's the training suite right there.
Voila.
It is a beautiful, beautiful facility. So hopefully you can come. I love, the trip from Charlotte to Nashville. But yeah, if we have enough interest, we might go and do it that way as well. So yes, worldclasstraining.net /school days. Thank you so much for that, Pastor. And yes, my latest book is Unpacking Agape, the 7 Languages of Intentional Leadership. That's on the website as well. And my first book, since we're in election season, even though it's not a political book, it's a book really about leadership and about the historical context of Barack Obama. It's What Would Barack Do? Inspiring Presidential Tools for the Leader in You. So if you want to get inspired about what it looked like when we had the first African-American president, as we are on the precipice, perhaps, of doing something else historical in this country, go to worldclasstraining.net /WWBD for What Would Barack Do? Inspiring Presidential Tools for the Leader in You.
Wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Listen here, folks. We're not out of talk, but we are out of time.
Yes. Thank you so much, Pastor.
You already know. And if I was I say know that I care that I know. But this is School Days.
This is School Days.
This is School Days. This is your show. You remember?
Yes.
B5G, Gamma Phi Gamma. I remember it like it was yesterday. Listen, if you want to become a better you, bless you by investing in you.
Yes.
Spend your time with your mind. Buy something for your head and not just for your hand.
Yes, that's right. Because my Louis is up in the closet. What I learned in emotional intelligence, and all my other trainings is still here. It goes with me every day.
Every day.
From sun up to sundown. Amen. Amen. Yes. Amen.
So listen, if you want to bring her to some of your organizational training, she's more than welcome and available. She does some things. She's a executive coach. Yes. She loves to dance, y'all. Believe it or not, she will take you to the park, and maybe that's what y'all need in y'all's organizational training. That's the 60-hour dance it off class. Just go to work and let's dance and move and get in rhythm and develop some new behavior. So reach out to my friend, my sister, my beloved, my colleague, and sometimes my boss. I call her boss lady because she drags me into these wonderful places and makes me sit on the other side of the table and smile and ask the important questions. Yes, and I love it. So life to you always, you know.
Thank you
You know
so
what I
much.
say? Yolanda says dancing is medication. It surely
It
is
is. It is.
medication.
That's why I call it dance it off, because it
Yeah,
gets rid of all of the ailments. When you talk about high blood pressure, diabetes, and when I studied to be a personal trainer, most of the ailments that we have can be either alleviated or definitely minimized if we just move. Yep,
just move.
absolutely. Just
And that's
move.
what I'm going to do. I'm going to take off this, put on my,
Okay, good.
I'm about to go do my walk.
We
You
were going
know,
to have some breakfast. Call me later. Let's have breakfast.
listen, today is a crazy
It's a
day. I got
busy day. I know. I know.
I got radio 1 to 2. I got something after that. I got
Yeah.
something at 6. I got to get Bible study done.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. If you
Well,
breakfast today, my cardio is gonna be, and my breakfast is gonna be cardio. But
yeah,
you've
I
already done
understand.
yours. You've already done yours. So
Yeah,
you're
I
yeah.
sure did. I did it earlier. Yep, yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Pastor. Thank you to everybody who's listening. And please go to worldclasstraining.net/school days. And again, I'm going to put a little code on there for everybody who taps into this show so that you'll save a little bit on the class as well. All right. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Stay right there, Pastor.